the recording. So I have something to. Here comes Rick.
Yeah. So that was my first guitar. I bought that as soon as when I graduated from high school.
Yeah, it's nice you still have it.
Yeah, I had it fixed up a little bit a couple of years ago, but after playing it as much as I did, it needed a little work.
Right.
The binding always comes loose,
Right.
because the wood dries out.
Yeah.
Actually, but the tone is better than it ever was because it's really echoes and projects.
Yeah.
That why Willie Nelson uses that old beat up guitar. Maybe he has several beat up guitars.
I only have one. It's like I only ever had one banjo.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I got a shitload of banjos. I got five.
That's the syndrome.
Oh,
Yeah, well, the old wooden instruments, because you got to keep playing them or else they kind of get out of whack.
Yeah.
But when I worked for the National Symphony for 20 years, and those people, they know they have names for certain violins, and they know who has it and where it moves around and who plays it, and crazy.
Yeah.
what symphony was that? Did you say
The National Symphony.
National? Okay, out of D.C. Is that right? Okay.
Say, Mike.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Mike, glad to see you. We're glad to hear
Hey,
you.
Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
No, I'm a lot nicer guy than that asshole.
Yeah, really. Amen. Like to
You like
smack
that,
his
Chris?
gavel.
What's
You
been
got some
going
good
on, Mike?
Denver weather, Mike?
What's that?
You got some good Denver weather?
It's gorgeous right now. It's in the 60s somewhere, and the next 3 days are going to be in the mid to high 60s. We had a little snow a few days ago, but it came and gone as early in the year, and so it's just gorgeous. So we're going to get in about 5-6 days, it'll drop into the high 50s again. But right now, it's incredible.
That's great.
How about where you guys are at?
It's great in North Carolina.
It's
Western
50 degrees in Washington. And
It's always cloudy and smoky in Barry's garage.
Rick, you
Probably
hey, Rick,
is Rick there? Did Rick go away?
Rick's muted.
Oh, okay. And here comes Roger.
Tried to shut me up, huh?
No, we were looking
Hey,
for him.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, what's up? I don't know where.
Hey,
Must have
Roger,
said
are you there?
Nice. Hey, Raj.
Hey, Raj.
Anyway,
He's
Oh, Roger.
good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, no, where?
I was late
Roger,
for
we were talking, Barry and I were talking about this picture.
yeah.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Oh, the cat.
This one was 500 Club years ago.
Now, that was before the
Across the
Mustang.
street, you got Rizzo's, then the Dream Room. The white building is the Dream Room.
Right.
And Rizzo's right before it.
Yeah.
You notice there's no balcony up there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
My goodness.
But the car looks great. 56 Chevy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that looks like my car almost. I was
Yeah.
trying to find a picture of it. The car that I had that I sold to Fred that I could get to Cape Cod on.
Okay.
Roger, did you say that you and Joel put the balcony up, or was it there?
No, he put the balcony up.
You did. Okay.
That's how it was.
You used to go out with the cat girl, didn't you? Lily Christine.
I was talking to you, Roger.
She asked me again. Damn it. Hard to get away from these girls.
Is that a picture of Roger up there? No, that's not Roger.
That's his date.
You know that
Lily Christine, the cat girl.
Oh,
that almost looks like the Champagne Girl, but it's not. Remember the
Yeah.
champagne girl? She
Yeah.
had her boobs were real big and she could put champagne glasses on top of them. Offered free drinks.
What a way to make a buck.
I know, and what a way to participate. Oh, that must have been, let's see, 65, probably about
Early 60s, yeah.
63 or 64, maybe earlier, right in there.
It might have been earlier, looking at the car, that's what, 56?
That's a 56, yeah, but that didn't mean anything.
Right.
4 years old, that's not bad. Yeah.
But the Rizzo sign is the same that was there when we were there.
Exactly. Spent a lot of money on Rizos.
Wow.
That era there and the era that we all worked there, I just thought was a great era to be in New Orleans and working in the French Quarter.
I agree.
I
It was.
remember after the mustache closed, Fred was working for the people that owned the 500 Club. He used to be a door guy right there at
Oh,
500.
Yeah, and behind that, they had a place called the Backstage.
That's right.
And I reopened that. I went back there and opened it up. And it was the strangest job I ever had. Anyway, they wanted to reopen it and put live music in there. I said,
And
okay.
right across the street from that was Al Hurt's backstage bar. Remember that?
Exactly. And Al used to hang out there and get drunk.
Every night.
But anyway, I opened that up and I hired some people who worked for me at Clarity working there. And Fred was always running around doing something. And he asked me to come and do that. I said, okay. I said, these people are sort of strange though. So anyway, I did it, and they had a strange way of doing business. So eventually, I don't think they liked the way I did business. They come in one night and said, okay, that's it, we're closing up. Took the cash register money and left. And my
I
friends,
remember Fred worked for those guys for a good while.
yeah, Nick Carno owned the 500 Club then. This 500 Club was owned by Marcellus family. And Nick Carno kept bugging me to come downtown back to the Quarter after the fire burned down, and he wanted me to run his clubs for him. I said, no, I don't think I can do that. And he also had owned the All Goods restaurant uptown.
Oh.
So I talked him into letting me take that over and run that. And that turned out to be a problem.
I remember when you did that, Roger. I came and saw you there a couple of times.
Yeah, and they had a side bar out there, which is pretty cool. I had to put piano put in it. I had piano players a lot, but never could recapture the original. We kept the name and cleaned it up, and had a couple of good chefs, and never could recapture that area because more bars had opened up in the meantime around the neighborhood.
Yeah, right next to the Turo Infirmary.
Exactly, yeah. And it used to be years ago, they have all the people who worked at Turo would hang out there. I mean, everybody would stop in All Goods years ago just to.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you had it, Roger. Like I said, I visited you a couple of times there.
Yeah. You know who was involved with me on that was Alex Miller.
Yeah, Alex Miller was one of the owner's officials. When I first started working there, he owned it.
Yeah, exactly. And he and Fred was involved in helping it go. And I had hired two chefs that worked at the Hyatt. Now, their way of running business was a lot different than what I was used to. I remember one time they were cutting up stuff for salads and they take a piece of lettuce and cut it in half, throw half of it away. And Fred walked in and said, "What the fuck are you doing? Throwing that away." He reached in the garbage can and pulled it out, said, "You can use this."
David Scribner and Dave and I, you remember we went to his funeral, Alex Miller. Remember that, David?
Yeah, I went. Are you sure? I'm kidding. I really don't remember. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, you and I went. It was at a church on Rampart Street.
Yeah, I remember being there for a funeral. Jeez.
Yeah, that was Alex Miller.
What church was that on Rampart Street? Is that right off Canal?
No, down by
Yeah,
like Governor
The other end.
down by Governor Nichols or Ursula.
Yeah,
up
yeah.
in-
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I heard a couple of stories about how he died, that he got hit by a car on the expressway.
Yeah, it was a mysterious death.
Yes, it doesn't add up.
It was very mysterious. Yeah, I mean, I was working for him when he died, you know?
Yeah, and he and I were hung around a lot together. He had that little sports car, and he had the that music that big buildings sold stereos and everything.
But at the
Yeah.
end, Roger, he was overboard on drinking and other things, you know?
Oh yeah, I know that, but I mean that when all of a sudden I heard that's how it happened, and I heard different stories about someone was looking for him, they couldn't find him. I think Lou Cole was down there at that time hanging out.
It's
He said,
Gimbert.
Again.
"Hey, Mike."
Mike,
Mike's
Mike, Mike Johnson,
Again,
the new
Mike.
Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, there he is.
I could tell these guys a while ago, we might
MAGA
have the
Mike,
same name, but I'm not an asshole like he is.
I will call you MAGA Mike, we can't do that.
Yeah, good.
Mike's the T-shirt man.
Yeah,
I saw
was a-
that, Mike. That looked good.
That was a great idea.
I've been planning to do that for years, but I couldn't find anybody to do the quilt. And I finally found somebody a while back, and it turned out great. But the two oldest T-shirts in there from the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival in '79.
Hmm.
Well, that was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah.
I wish I would have kept some of my T-shirts now. Gave them all away.
Hey, Roger, how far are you from Chandler?
How far am I from Chandler?
Yeah.
Right around the corner.
There's a really good jazz festival going on there this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A bunch of bands from various places in the country, and there's some really,
What's the
really
name of
good
it?
bands. It's called the Arizona Classic Jazz Festival, if you want to Google it. And it's at the Crown Plaza San Marcos Resort.
Oh yeah. See, the borderlines down here are so damn crazy. I can go around that corner and I'll be in Chandler, which is then Chandler goes out miles in different directions.
Yeah,
It's no sense to it.
I've been there. I've been to it twice. And it's a wonderful festival if you got some time during the weekend and want to go.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
You probably have, I don't know, 12 or 14, 15 bands, something like that,
Oh really? Jesus.
alternating venues throughout the weekend.
Oh, it's nice out. The weather's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
not too hot now.
it's a
it's
good
super hot.
festival. It's been going on for over 20 years. Well, 20, 25, 30 years.
Oh, thanks for turning me on to that. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, Arizona Classic Jazz Festival.
Did Bill Clark play that last year?
They play it pretty much every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you get there, look for a band
There's old Fred.
played by a cute blonde lady who plays keyboards and trumpet. Her name's Cheryl Thurston. She always has good bands together.
Okay.
We were talking about Fred, so here's Fred in the club.
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tell who's on the back.
Who's that playing banjo up there?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Looks like Les Davies, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking less too. That's what it kind of looks like. Yeah, sure.
I don't remember any orange derbies. Wonder what the occasion. Oh, maybe it was a. Nah. would have been the-
Yeah, that was the end of the derby hats. So you can see how we started bringing the skimmers in.
Can't really tell who that is on the bandstand.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Les Davies. Now,
No, it's not. It might be George Berg. I don't know. Or yeah.
Hmm.
He played a lot with Neil. I can't tell who the trombone player is. Is that Ben Smith on the tuba?
I don't even see the tuba.
It's hard to see.
not real clear.
Okay, well, I can find some better pictures than that.
Yeah, get someone to look at what the hell.
It's it never ceases to amaze me how people got dressed up to come to our joints.
Mhm.
Well, they used to in the beginning.
That was the style in the day. I mean, we all got dressed up to go out.
Yeah.
Nowadays, hell, you know. I went to a
Even-
funeral about 2 weeks ago, and there were people in Levi's. I go, you know,
Yeah.
whatever happened.
Speaking
Whatever
of being
happened to the
dressed
dark
up, here we go. Russell in his tie.
You can look at any old pictures, even at baseball games years ago, people would dress up.
Mhm.
Look, Russ has a tie on. That's pretty cool.
It is.
Wow. Yeah.
I wonder what he was celebrating.
Are you shitting me?
No, I ain't shitting you. I think he coined that phrase and
I got more Russell. Let's see.
I used to love to go into the club early, and Russell would make, big batches of beef stew or
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that, and just have dinner there. It was great.
yeah. Home cooking.
Did that many
As long as
times.
you got-
Orange hats.
Look at those two young men. Jesus.
Really?
I remember
Yeah.
those hats. I remember
Roger,
those.
Roger, Roger, you were never that young, Roger. That's
Yeah.
Those were certainly the days.
Yeah.
Jesus. We were at the right place at the right time.
Yes. Exactly.
I don't know who took that picture. I mean, I have it. I have the original picture. I don't know who gave it to me.
Been a while, a few years ago.
Right
Just a
this way,
few.
girls.
Just a few. Just a few.
Yeah, really.
Mike, I love that picture that you posted of the snowy road going through the mountain.
Yeah, somebody else put that up there and I shared it, but I've never been over that pass and I wouldn't try it in the wintertime, but the summertime I wouldn't be worried about it. But I think it looks in that picture a lot worse than it actually is, probably. But I wouldn't try it in the wintertime. You know, I might be old and crazy, but I'm not that stupid. Well, yeah,
Uh,
It doesn't even look like there's a guardrail or anything.
there isn't.
oh.
There isn't. There's no guardrails. There's no shoulders. Most of it, it's a long drop down to the river at the bottom.
oh swell.
Have to stay close to the mountainside.
Yeah. When you have a choice.
Okay, well, here's a picture of Rick.
There's a
Hey,
good group of people.
Eddie
Bill,
Ali.
and Bill, Ed, Kent, John, Tom,
Yeah.
me.
Billy.
Mhm.
Billy's in every picture.
He
It's amazing.
Billy's
gets in a
very photohygienic.
He is.
hygienic.
Who's
Very
the guy with the
good.
glasses on in the back? Is that, what's his name?
John Leonard, Mad
John
Dog.
Lennon, right. I used to be in contact with him for a while, then all of a sudden he just sort of disappeared. He was living in Texas.
In Texas, yeah. He just same here, and then he just disappeared. I don't know what happened.
I kept trying to find him. I didn't know that something happened to him, but he was pretty far left with the politics, which was fine with me. So,
Yeah.
but he was a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared several years ago. Yeah, I don't know.
And Eddie Ali, I saw Billy.
Ed Alley has my hat on.
Yeah.
He wanted to park. I'm all right. Okay. That day Barry was taking pictures of us.
Yeah. It's a good picture. Yeah. Be in touch with everybody but John. I haven't talked to Ed in a long time though. It's been a while. You ever hear? Oh, you ever hear from him, Bill? Bill is not here.
Bill's not here. Bill's went to somebody's funeral today.
Oh,
We're doing too much of that these days.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Look, back then we used to like those big bebop caps like Eddie's wearing.
Mhm.
You have Ed on the list, don't you, Tom?
Oh, I send it to him every week.
He just some reason,
Yeah.
So you still living up in Colorado?
yeah, Grand Junction.
Yeah, Grand Junction, that's it. Yeah.
Used to be a mechanic. It was, or wasn't he a mechanic on some of the oil wells?
I think he worked for the phone company or something. I'm not a utility company. I'm not real sure. I can't remember. Something like that. Remember, he and Karen came down to New Orleans several years ago. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
Up on St. Charles, we met at that road. Where was it?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember what you're talking about because he came with Billy.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're doing so much New Orleans stuff today.
Oh, that's all good.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
It's the balcony that Roger was talking about.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, so now you see the
Cool.
balcony on it. And your father's mustache and the next
There's another-
club to called the Intellect.
oh yeah.
You can't see the next door, which would take you upstairs.
Mhm.
Whomever is
Yeah. That was
when Joel put
Prime.
the balcony up, did he have a lot of trouble with the Vu commissioner or anything?
And, well, there was a small piece of balcony in some other picture before that. So the balcony got extended and he kept with the original floor plan of the balcony, the same decor and the wrought iron, all stayed the same design.
Mhm.
So,
It was nice.
Yeah. and it enhanced
Great location on Bourbon.
the heart of Bourbon Street. And the woman that owned it, she her relatives came out of France, and she was an interesting lady. And what happened when the fire burned down, the lease ended, notified the lease, and we tried to go to her and renegotiate a lease, but all of a sudden the price we were paying compared to what the people were paying at that point in time was a huge gap.
Substantially different. Yeah.
Oh, she wanted a lot more money, which is, you know, can't blame her. But she was a sweet old lady.
Did you live around the corner back on the?
Yeah, back she did. I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly where, but it wasn't far from the mustache. Exactly. Yeah. Fred and I went and talked to her.
Roger, did you ever know the story of why the New York club closed?
I assume because it's just business, but I don't know.
But it wasn't business. I mean, we were packed every night.
You're still up there when it closed?
I was still up there and it was packed every night. I imagine that somebody offered Joel a deal he couldn't refuse for that property.
Yeah, but he didn't own the property, I don't think.
Or maybe the space, you know, I don't know. But
Because
that place right there was packed every night up to
yeah, it was.
I was there to close the night. It was packed every night. And all
No,
those
I
things
never-
that were closing.
I don't know if Joe lost some interest in dealing with these clubs or what. But he didn't, even when the mustache burnt down in New Orleans, I worked with him for over a year trying to find a new location, but we wanted to be on Bourbon Street.
Oh,
And in fact, I just found cleaning out my old briefcase. I found a letter that he sent to me. He wanted to stick with it, keep looking and so and so, which I thought was very good. But we never could find the right location. We didn't want to be off Bourbon Street. Didn't make any sense to us. And then we opened up that flimsy your father's mustache with a stripper down the street.
That oh, man.
You played there, didn't you, Barry?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. But I was up in New York. You know, after the mustache burned down in New Orleans, I went up to New York, was
Right.
leading man up there. It was packed every night. And the Irish came in and said, guess what? We're closing. We were all shocked.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is behind that. I remember I was talking to Ron Sater at this day still, and he didn't come up with a really great answer. So
I mean, maybe Joel did lose interest. That was his only club left. But I mean, it was packed every
Yeah.
night, you know?
that was probably true. You know, he stuck with us for a while, trying to find a place in New Orleans. It just wasn't happening.
Guys, I'm about to say bye. I got to run. I got to go to Slidell and pick up my neighbor who got out of surgery. They said to pick him up around 5:15 or so.
Drive safe.
Good
See
time.
you, Rick.
Form the Haley ambulance service. So we'll see y'all next week.
You have a bar in your ambulance bar, that service?
What? Oh. Yeah.
Little to-go bar?
Hey, Rick, you're late. It's 5:30 already. Here.
What time
Oh.
is it?
4:30 here. Oh,
Yeah, it's
this
only-
is time change weekend, isn't it? Don't forget
It's only
that.
2:30 here. Where are you going? We're covering the time zones.
I guess I didn't realize that New York was the last club in the
I did.
chain.
Yeah,
I never thought about it, but it should make sense.
It was.
yeah. They were going to reopen the Boston Club in that Nathaniel Square thing down that they built. I believe it was
Yeah.
called tourist area, and we were talking to people about that, but it never came around.
Chris, New Orleans burned down in July of '75,
Yeah.
and New York closed in January of '76.
Yeah,
The Denver club closed sometime in 75, but I don't remember exactly when. 75, maybe early 76 at the latest.
I never realized that all of those happened at a very similar time frame.
that was a. Joe would send me out to close some of these places, which was a drag. I
Here's a
like
good
these-
picture of David and
And
Billy,
the
as
the
usual.
mysterious woman that Billy had his hand on.
We've been looking at this picture for years, and nobody's ever identified the girl.
I'm no
It's just
too
funny.
She's very photohygienic.
Lord. David, is it getting cold up there in where you are?
It's in the 40s today, and it was pretty cold the last few days, but it's going to be back in the 50s and 60s for the next week or two.
Yeah.
We went from
It's
80
great.
last week. We went from 80 last week to 40 today. It's 26 this morning.
Is this a New York club or is this the Cape Cod club?
New York.
That's New York. That's New York for sure.
New York. And I think Tara's the only guy besides Joel that had his picture outside the door. Look at that.
Yeah. 7th Avenue and 10th. Down the West Village.
Home sweet home. Some of the best times of my life, I'll tell you.
Right under
Yeah.
your nose.
If all of us had a nickel for every time we hung out on that corner, we'd be rich.
That's about right. That's about right.
When I was living in New York, I could walk to the club. I lived up the street on 16th Avenue between 5th and 6th. So I would just walk on down to the club and go to work in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I lived a block and a half from it on Grove Street.
Yeah.
I've lived 2 blocks down on Christopher Street. Yeah.
Right.
And I lived up in the Bronx.
The Bronx. The Bronx.
The Bronx.
The
Yeah.
Bronx.
Hey, you know what's not in the front window? The banjo man. Roger, remember that? The guy who played the banjo
Oh,
Roger here.
where?
in the front window, the banjo man.
Oh, okay.
Remember that, Kim?
Oh, sure. Dan McCall, you mean?
I don't know. Was that Dan McCall?
Banjo Dan McCall.
Banjo
I
Dan?
didn't know that. But there was a banjo. We called him the banjo man, and his arm moved on the banjo. Wow. Banjo Dan.
Banjo Dan McCall lived on what, Bleecker and
He lived right on the side street. Off
I
of,
thought he lived on Grove.
Grove and
lived on-
Bleecker.
he lived on Grove right off of Christopher, between
Right.
Christopher and 7th Avenue.
Who's that?
Christopher. Yeah, that was by where we used to shoot pool with Terra. George Hertz became Boots and Saddle.
The George,
Remember Barry?
Banjo Dan lived right across the street from Arthur's Tavern.
that's right.
Which was where George Hertz was, Boots and Saddle, right.
The George
Wow.
O. The George O. Hurt, yes, indeed.
Look, the next door to that was Marie's Hideaway.
Marie's Crisis.
Marie's
Marie's
Crisis,
Crisis.
that's how I remember it.
And look, it was a gay bar, and me and Danny and Eddie Davis and all we'd go play downstairs. All the gays dancing.
Oh
We
boy.
make more money at the after hour. We play from 2 to like 6 in the morning. Make more money in tips there than we made at the club.
Wasn't there a piano player, Mabel, there?
No,
That's Arthur's.
At Arthur. Mabel was at Arthur's, right?
no, my Mabel was at Marie's Crisis. I was there many times. She used to play she used to play that song way down in the dumps on the 95th floor. That one. That's the song she used to do.
He might have been in both places
That wouldn't be surprising at all. No.
because I saw her at Arthur's.
Arthur's had the Dixieland band on both Sunday and Monday nights. Different guys leading it. Yeah.
You can see how people are dressed up here going in.
Oh
Yeah.
sure. Oh yeah. Oh, those the short skirts that finally arrived, hadn't they? Huh? Yeah. Okay.
And they had the New Orleans Jazz sign in the front. Next
Yeah,
to the
they
bill
had
of fare.
Yeah, on Sunday they had the jazz band there.
Yep.
Right.
Southampton Racing Dixie and Clambake Society.
I remember that, Chris.
Yeah, they were there when I got there first, and then after they left because of the band broke up basically, and people moved away. Red Balaban took it over, and he put
Yeah.
in,
I remember Red Balaban.
I remember Red Balaban.
yeah, he put
We have
in,
playing
that
a
was
club uptown
that was-
also.
those were first class bands that Red put together. I mean, just fabulous personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to love the piano player with the Southampton group, Ted Prohaska, his name was, I think.
Red Prohaska, right? Yeah.
Woody,
was
Woody
great.
Herman used to come and
Great player.
play Red.
I think we served hot dogs boiled in beer there on Sundays.
Oh, oh.
You loved it. A free hot dog, boiled in beer, perfect.
Yeah.
How ghastly. Oh.
Yeah. It was sold for 10 cents or something. I can't remember.
Anybody get an update on Joel?
He's in rehab. I know that, but I
That
don't
we
know.
knew.
I
Yeah.
don't know the details. You know, I've not talked to Emily. In fact, I couldn't find her phone number when I went to call her.
Roger talked to Joel last week.
Really?
Yeah,
Good. What's up?
you weren't here last week. I just got off the phone with him when we started our afternoon club. I talked to him for about a half hour, and he wasn't, considering where he was and doing rehab. He's in there, Emily said, and he was in there to try to rebuild his muscle strength because he's doing a lot of falling, and she's very concerned about that. So, but yeah, we talked for a while and just joked about a few things. And nothing serious, just tried to be humorous. But yeah, so, and Emily said, just don't ever ask him when he's coming home because
Yeah.
it upset. But and I was emailing her in advance to make sure. And Joe actually called me, which was pretty cool, I thought. But,
Good.
we just talked about how we run the club years ago, how simple it was, but so tight, and it was. I mean, all the computers they had the day, everything, and every Saturday night I'd call all the managers, ask how business was, et cetera, et cetera. Then they send me a weekly report, which I'd get either Monday or Tuesday, of a layout of the club and where all the income was coming from, cost of sales, et cetera. And we corresponded that way, and it worked out pretty good. So It was a fun
Things
time.
were simpler back then, huh, Roger?
Huh?
Things were
Yeah.
much simpler back then.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't run a
Yeah.
club too, probably. I mean, they do a good job with other computers and things to do. They can tell exactly what's going on immediately. But we did pretty good also weighing our beer in and out and our kegs, so we could tell what was going
Yeah.
on at night if we wanted, how much money was rung up on the beer key. Well, we had a 4-key cash register. Kids today wouldn't know what the hell to do with that.
Right.
It wouldn't add for them. It was so cool, as the waiter would call out their order and what they're paying for it, and the bartender would immediately give them the change back right when they pulled up to pay for it. The cash flow.
Everything was done by hand with an ad machine. You
Well,
wouldn't see it anymore.
If you
Yeah.
think about it, back then it was a cash business. We didn't take credit cards nor checks.
No, cash.
Cash, only cash.
Cash
So-
was do business then.
Yeah, we had to hoist the kegs up with the chain and weigh them on the scale.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like it when they had the rods in the kegs. And you
Remember
could-
that?
Yeah, you open it up
Oh,
and you
go
open the rod
flying
and
up.
you can make it whistle real loud.
Yeah.
Then they switched over to the more modern screw-on tape thing, which is sort of boring, but it was interesting.
Well, most all of the vendors back then had spear taps, the thing you just described. The Golden Gate valve was unique to Anheuser-Busch. And
Yeah.
they had that was so simple. That was the way to go. But the spear tap was a pain in the ass, but it did make a fun noise when you opened it.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then the crowd would yell when you make the big whistle. Someone would grab the empty keg and run around with it. It's all showtime all the time.
In fact, now that I think about it, I have a spear tap downstairs.
There you go.
I wonder where the hell it came from.
Okay, now these guys use the same keg every time. They beat this keg to death.
I'll bet.
Yeah,
Look
it
at
looks
it.
like it.
Look at it.
What club is that?
Is it Blackpool? I don't know.
I think it's Blackpool.
That's what I was saying.
That sounds right. That sounds good.
That was a most interesting club. I was over there for about a month and a half, and I stayed upstairs in the hotel at the Cherry Tree Hotel, and I went to get a beer in the afternoon. He said, "Oh no beer now." I said, "Why?" I said, "Oh, we don't serve beer in the afternoon." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, we do." There you go. I said, "Because they want people to go back to work."
They had a big selection of beer there.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah. Look at
Those are
that.
liquor bottles up there at the top. But that's the best Guinness stout I ever had was over there. It was magic. It could make you disappear. Really. We had some sort of old fire truck or something over there.
Look at those mugs on the left. Those glass mugs.
They're
Yeah.
pint glasses.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
schooner.
Way too big.
Harry Black was there when I went over and worked for a while.
Now those mugs look about right to me. Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
I remember going to pubs in the UK. And yeah, those were common size.
Yeah, the common pint glass.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, they're serious about their pint measurements.
So there it is.
They serve their beer too warm though,
Yeah.
Old truck. Yeah.
and their wine too cold and the beer too warm. They got the back.
Really, everything was room temperature except your cocktails.
Now, where was this taken?
It's in Blackpool. It was at some parade or something.
Mike, were you in Blackpool at all?
I was only for a weekend. I was there with Joel one weekend. It was about the time of Halloween here, and it was Guy Fawkes weekend in England, where Guy Fawkes was a guy, if you don't know who, it was a few hundred years ago. He tried to blow up Parliament, and they celebrated every year.
Yeah, in the village, there was a Guy Fawkes bar.
Yeah,
I think it
Really?
was on 6th Avenue, I think.
I don't remember that, but that's good.
Yeah, Guy Fawkes was, I think it was on 6th.
well, in England, what they would do on Guy Fawkes weekend, they'd go around and raise money for various charities and things, and they'd have all these chestnut roasting things out of fires out in the street and all
Right.
kinds of things. It wasn't a Halloween like here, but it was still a celebration.
Yeah, fireworks generally, as I recall.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do have some funny holidays there. Celebrating an overthrow of the government or an attempted overthrow.
Here's the club. Blackpool Club, and people
That's
have
Harry
dressed
Black
up for the
playing
night.
lead.
Is that Harry Black?
I'm playing leads.
Huh, interesting.
I spent a whole day with him traveling around. We went over to Liverpool to where the Beatles played. Then he took me up to the mountains. It was just gorgeous. We stopped at a pub at the very top. I don't know exactly where we were, but we went in and this guy run this little pub and sit down and have a cold beer, or not a cold beer, sit down and have a beer. It was a great time I had with him. And he had a guy that hung around with him called the Black Brothers. I
Oh,
think he played. I think he played the washboard.
Tom looks like he's looking for a picture.
I am.
He's got lots of.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes trouble.
Ari, before you came on, I was telling Roger that right before the New York closed, we were busy every night, very busy.
It was busy.
Yeah.
There's Mike Swan.
oh yeah, sure is. And Dennis Drury,
Yeah, is that looks like Timmy Shea in the back.
Johnny
Yeah,
Gill,
It
Johnny
does.
Gill
I don't
playing,
think it is.
Johnny Gill playing drums, I think.
Johnny Gill on drums.
Yeah,
Oh, Johnny Gill. Okay. And who's on tuba?
that's a new one.
I don't know him. Is
I
that
was-
Sam Palafian?
I don't think so.
There's a name up there. Yeah, Sam.
I think that's Sam Palafian.
It could
Yeah,
be,
the name-
yeah.
Yeah, it says Sam Palafian.
Yeah,
Really?
looks
Okay.
like him.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Dennis Drury, Mike Swan, John Gill.
Sam Palafian. Yeah.
Cool.
Gone too soon.
That had to be around 1972.
Is that when Mike Swan was there? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Mike Swan was there in 72.
Yeah, Sam Palafian's been gone a few years.
yeah.
He sure has.
Yeah.
Funny, there's nobody at the front tables.
And that's a rare picture of a drum set on a mustache stage.
Yeah.
Sure is.
First time I met John Gill was out in San Francisco. He was playing with Earthquake Magoon
Right.
at Earthquake Magoons with
Kurt Murphy.
Chuck Murphy, right? And I knew the guy who was playing the offsets, you know,
That's
the breaks.
Ira Gutman on the left. Bill Higbee from banjo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot the trombone player's name. Oh shit.
Look at John Gill. Wow. He could be an insurance salesman.
Whoa, I just noticed that picture of the woman bending over.
Yeah, you just noticed that. Who's on tuba there? Is that McClarnon?
No, that's Larry Fishkin.
Oh, Larry Fishkin. I remember him. Yeah.
Fishkin, oh my goodness.
And the trombone player is?
Yeah, me.
Is that Dick Dreiwitz?
The woman bending over, maybe she was working for Irvin taking pictures.
Irving.
Who is that girl?
Oh, trombone question. Larry Fishkin, John Gill. Yeah. That might be.
Oops.
It might be Dick Dreiwitz. How come Tara's not there?
That's true. There ain't too many nights in New York in the last years where Tara wasn't there.
Well, you know why? I'm looking at it. It must have been Halloween, and he's always dressed up for Halloween, so he took the night off. It's the only thing I can figure. Johnny Gill.
Yeah, Johnny's back down in New Orleans playing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Where? What? At a certain club or all over?
He
All
plays
over the
on the
place.
river on the riverboat.
Yeah, he's been on the Zoom thing several times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now he's got a different, the timing on the boat has changed, so he can't be on.
That's Johnny Gill. Davy Lou on tuba.
Davy Lou like trains.
Yeah. And there's Jerry Cool on trombone. Yep.
Davy Lulu.
Trains and little boys. See why?
Trains and little boys. That's what he likes. Thing is, he was a really good tuba player.
Was he, Barry? I don't remember.
Yeah, he was a good tuba player. He was just different.
Did he
probably
play at
fit
Disney?
right in then.
Did he play at Disney?
No,
No.
but he played in South Jersey. I remember we were in Wildwood. Well, he
Yeah.
played the next town up called Avalon.
Sure. He played in Avalon?
He played in Avalon, and I can't remember the name of the joint.
And I wouldn't know it, but I know Avalon.
But he played. They had a banjo thing, just like the Red Garter and a mustache,
Right.
playing there. And I can't remember the banjo player's name, but Danny and I would take a ride over there and hear him play.
I used to play in a place down in Seaside called Good Time Charlie's.
Oh, I remember Good Time Charlie's. I remember that. It was a popular place.
Oh, yeah.
What's the name of the club you played in, Chris? That video comes from?
Oh, that was the old Straw Hat.
The Old Straw Hat.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was on Route 22, right?
Yep.
Right. I played
In,
Ghost.
I think in Greenbrook, was it?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly the name of the town. Or Boundbrook.
Downbrook or Greenbrook. Oh, there's Christine.
Yep.
I don't know who the other flapper is. The flapper.
I see Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
He's playing tuba, blowing his eyes out.
No idea who that is.
No,
I don't know who are on the banjos.
Well,
That's
John Gill is one of the banjo.
John Gill
Johnny Gill's on the left, right?
Yeah.
Who's on the right?
It says George French up there.
that's who it is. George. Sure, of course it is. Yeah, right.
George French. Oh.
Oh, and that's Sam Palafian on tuba.
he looks
Yeah.
different. Huh? But that doesn't look like it was a mustache picture.
No,
Oh, it says Muskrat Productions.
muskrat. Oh my goodness. Okay,
That's what it says on the top left.
Your father's
Muskrat.
muskrat.
Productions.
Banjo band. Muskrat Banjo Band, Smith Street Society, your father's mustache, Red Garter Band.
What happened after the New York club closed? Muskrat Productions signed to sell these bands under these names. They all were the same thing. They all
Sure.
were the same thing, the
Yeah.
same musicians. One was called Smith Street Society, one was called the Mustache, one was called Red Garter, but they all were the same thing.
Yeah.
I have a funny story that goes with that. That for Fairfield University up in Fairfield, Connecticut, used to hire bands like this for their alumni get together every year, and I did it 4 years in a row. And every year it would be a different name. This year it would be Muskrats, and the next year it would be the Smith Street, and then the year after that, finally, the father, the senior, the Monsignor that runs the whole joint came over and says, "You're here every year. You play with every band." I said, "Yeah, don't you recognize it whenever you book this?
They're all the same, right?
You're going to get me." Don't you? Right?
Yeah.
But
You know, after the Mustache burned in New Orleans, I bet you for the next 10 years, the Mustache Band played Tulane University's homecoming. They kept hiring us. Even though the Mustache had been gone for 10 years, we still played every homecoming party.
that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Funny thing. All those guys in the Muskrat Productions, all of them are gone now. Funny. It's not funny, but it's a way of life.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sure does.
Each week I read things either from the Mustache Group or maybe my high schools, and so and so's going, "What the hell?" Time passes on.
Well, if we don't wrap it up, we're gonna have to pay Tom time and a half.
Good to see all you guys. See you next week.
Okay,
Hey,
take care.
Mike.
See you, Mike.
Join us.
Cheers. Stay
Back
warm
to
and safe.
Congress.
Good point. Good
Tom,
point.
thank you.
Hey, no
Thank
problem.
See you.
you,
Thanks, Tom.
See you next week.
All right. Thanks for being here.